Hey guys, welcome back. Another video. Today I thought I'd go over a little bit of mentality I have about stakes. Now, one of the reasons I see to carry stakes is if you're actually going to have some kind of tarp or tent with it, of course. But in a more long-term scenario, you're going to actually be building more permanent structures like teepees, lean-tos, debris huts, so you don't have much of a need for stakes for that shelter. You might still want the tarp or tent to do scouts, or maybe venture away from your camp and do something else. And in that case, you would still need stakes. So, with that being said, you usually have about 3 different options. You're going to have plastic stakes, like these, simple ABS plastic stakes from the Pathfinder school. I've used these a lot. They're lightweight. They don't really decompose or break down in any way. I've used them as toggles before, in a little lock system. It'll definitely stand up to a couple strong winds. And it's a very sleek design, very small, kind of narrow shape. But they will bend, as it is plastic. You get them too hot near the fire, they will melt, as some of them are. They can tend to chip sometimes if you hit them too hard. And if you lose them, you can't really get them back. They're already pre-made, but you have to carry them around, it's kind of a burden sometimes, because you could probably use it as, like a digging stick or something, but other than a stake, it's pretty useless, in my opinion. Cheap, but like I said, I don't prefer these. Also, if you know me, I like natural stuff. This is not very natural. Well, another option is metal stakes. These happen to be, I think, iron stakes I got from a Civil War battleground reproduction tent. Very heavy duty, very hefty, so I got a little bit of weight to them. But they're pre-made. You don't have to go out and make them. They're going to last a long time because they're metal. You can use them as digging sticks, as they will puncture the ground. Very tough metal tip. These happen to have a bit of a hook on them, as I think most of the metal stakes do. Bit more reliability in long term, I think, especially for tie-outs. And you can probably think of other uses, like hanging it from a stick or a limb to get out of the way. Maybe using it as a weapon, a self-defense, of course. Playing around with it or whatever. It's made of metal, so you can use it as a fire poker if you had to, messing things in the fire. For me, it's a kind of semi-natural material. If you leave it somewhere, if you forget it somewhere, it's not going to, release chemicals and toxins like plastic would. But it's not entirely going to be natural to the environment that you leave it in. Overall, they're pretty good. I like them for the heavy dutiness, and yeah, they're heavy, but like I said with my oilskin tarp, I like the heavy dutiness and heaviness if it can support that with long-term durability and likeness. But they can be a little broad like this is, so overall they're okay. This one has yet to rust, but assuming it's metal and it's iron and it's probably not stainless steel, it probably will rust given enough time. Well, where does that leave? Wooden stakes. I'm pretty iffy on these. Started using them a lot recently with my tarps, as you can tell. What are some of the bad things? Well, you have to make them. If you don't know how to make stakes, or you're bad at making stakes, it can be a bit of a challenge. Making them of course requires some kind of cutting tool, so you have to have that with you. If you get them too close to the fire, they're going to burn because it is wood. They will rot if they're not the right material, and you leave them out in the water or in the rain. And I mean, they're heavier than the plastic, but they're not as heavy as the metal. With all that being said, what are some good things? Well, they're made of wood. They're natural. I like that. You can make them any way you want to. Either narrow shape like this, or you can find one like this, sharpen a point on here, so it's like the metal ones. That's not so bad. They could be used as firewood, as they will burn, if you had to. Since you have to make them, you can make as many as you want, so you can lose them. You can carry them with me. You can carry them with you if you wanted. Not really necessary though. And if you make them of the right material, you can probably still use it as a digging stick. Especially if you maybe put a wedge on one end as well, or maybe this end. So overall, I'd say this is my now preferred way of having stakes. That way I don't have to worry about carrying them. I don't have to worry about losing them. But I still have to make them. So that's a bit of a pain still, but overall I'd say it's worth it. So that was just my little 2 cents on stakes. Thanks for joining me for this video. Until the next time, see you later. Just by dropping it, well, just by dropping it, just by dropping it, just by dropping it. If you're not